Are you waiting for the perfect retirement age? What if I told you that sticking to traditional retirement timelines could cost you years of happiness, health, and fulfillment? Today, we'll explore 8 clear signs that suggest you might be ready to retire sooner than conventional wisdom suggests. Many people automatically assume they need to work until 65 or 67, but the truth is more nuanced. Financial readiness, health considerations, and life circumstances can all point toward an earlier retirement being not just possible, but beneficial. Let's dive into these 8 signs, starting with number 8. Sign 8. Your healthcare costs are rising rapidly. If you're noticing your medical expenses increasing significantly each year, this might actually signal it's time to consider early retirement. Here's why this counterintuitive advice makes sense. Many people assume they need employer-provided health insurance until Medicare kicks in at 65. However, if your current health issues are causing frequent doctor visits, prescription costs, or ongoing treatments, the stress of a demanding job might be making things worse. A 2022 study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that job-related stress contributes to 40% of healthcare cost increases for workers over 50. When you're constantly managing work pressure alongside health concerns, both tend to escalate. Consider this. If you retire early and can secure affordable health coverage through the HA Marketplace or a spouse's plan, you might actually reduce your overall healthcare costs by eliminating stress-related health issues. The key is calculating whether your reduced income in early retirement, combined with lower stress-related medical expenses, creates a better financial picture than continuing to work while health costs spiral upward. Sign 7. You have multiple income streams beyond your salary. If you've successfully developed income streams beyond your primary job, rental properties, investments, a side business, or royalties, you might be closer to retirement readiness than you think. The traditional retirement model assumes you'll need 70-80% of your working income. But if your salary represents only 60% of your total income, your retirement math changes dramatically. Let's say you earn $80,000 annually at your job, but you also receive $30,000 from rental income and $15,000 from investments. Your total income is $125,000, but only $80,000 depends on your continued employment. If your living expenses are $90,000 annually, you're already earning half of what you need without working. With some modest adjustments to spending or small increases to passive income, early retirement becomes feasible. The Financial Independence, Retire Early FIRE community has demonstrated this principle successfully. Many FIRE adherents retire in their 40s or 50s not because they're millionaires, but because they've created enough passive income to cover their often modest living expenses. Sign 6. Your industry is undergoing major disruptions. Sometimes early retirement isn't just a choice. It's a strategic move ahead of industry changes that could make your skills obsolete or significantly reduce your earning potential. If you work in a field facing automation, outsourcing, or major technological disruption, retiring early might be better than trying to retrain or compete with younger workers for fewer positions. This doesn't mean giving up at the first sign of change. But if you're over 55, have decent savings, and see clear writing on the wall for your industry, early retirement could be more attractive than spending years fighting an uphill battle. Consider the retail sector, traditional journalism, or many manufacturing jobs. Workers who recognized the trends early and had the financial flexibility to retire often fared better than those who waited until layoffs or pay cuts forced their hand. The key is honest assessment. Are industry changes temporary challenges you can adapt to, or fundamental shifts that will permanently reduce opportunities in your field? Sign 5. You're emotionally and mentally exhausted by work. Burnout isn't just about having bad days or busy periods. If you're experiencing persistent emotional exhaustion, cynicism about your work, or feeling like you're just going through the motions, these might be signs that continuing to work is doing more harm than good. Chronic work stress doesn't just affect your job performance. It impacts your health, relationships, and overall quality of life. Sometimes the financial security of continuing to work comes at too high a personal cost. A longitudinal study from Harvard Business School found that people who retired when they felt emotionally ready, rather than at a predetermined age, reported significantly higher life satisfaction and better health outcomes 5 years post-retirement. This doesn't mean retiring the moment work becomes stressful. But if you've tried changing roles, reducing hours, or addressing workplace issues without success, and you have the financial means to retire, your mental health might be signaling it's time. Consider whether you're staying in a draining job out of habit, fear, or social expectations, rather than genuine financial necessity. Sign 4. Your spouse or partner is ready to retire. If your spouse or partner is ready to retire, and you have the financial flexibility for one of you to stop working, this might be an ideal time to consider early retirement yourself. Retirement is often most fulfilling when couples can experience it together. Having one person still working while the other is retired can create scheduling conflicts, different energy levels, and sometimes resentment. Moreover, if your partner has good health insurance that covers both of you, or if you can manage on one income, retiring together often provides better quality of life than staggered retirements. This is particularly relevant if one spouse has a pension or other retirement benefits that kick in early. Sometimes it makes more financial sense for both people to retire when the first becomes eligible for benefits, rather than waiting for both to reach traditional retirement age. Sign 3. You have clear post-retirement plans and purpose. One of the biggest mistakes people make is retiring without a clear sense of what they'll do next. But if you've developed hobbies, volunteer opportunities, or meaningful activities that you're passionate about, this suggests you're ready for the transition. Research consistently shows that people who retire to something, rather than just away from work, adapt better to retirement and maintain better physical and mental health. If you find yourself constantly thinking about projects you'd pursue, places you'd travel, or causes you'd support if you just had the time, that might indicate you're psychologically ready to retire. This is especially true if you've already started developing these interests. Maybe you're volunteering regularly, have creative projects underway, or have developed expertise in areas outside your career. The key is ensuring your post-retirement vision is realistic and sustainable, not just a fantasy about endless leisure time. Sign 2. Your fixed expenses are low and under control. If you've paid off your mortgage, eliminated debt, and have low fixed monthly expenses, you might need far less income in retirement than conventional calculators suggest. Many retirement planning tools assume you'll need 70–80% of your working income. But if your mortgage payment was $2,500 monthly, and that's now eliminated, your actual replacement income needs might be much lower. Consider this scenario. You currently earn $100,000, but spend $7,000 monthly. If $2,500 of that was mortgage payments, and $500 was work-related expenses, commuting, professional clothes, lunches out, your actual retirement need might be closer to $4,000 monthly or $48,000 annually. That's less than half your working income. If you have $600,000 in retirement savings, the traditional 4% withdrawal rule would provide $24,000 annually. Plus, you'd have Social Security benefits, even if taken early at a reduced rate. Low fixed expenses provide tremendous flexibility and can make early retirement feasible with much smaller nest eggs than conventional wisdom suggests. Sign 1. You're financially ready but afraid to admit it. The number 8 sign you should retire earlier than you think. You've already done the math. You know you can afford it. But you're paralyzed by fear or social expectations about when you're supposed to retire. Many people have enough savings to retire comfortably, but convince themselves they need just a little more or worry about what others will think about early retirement. If you've calculated your retirement needs conservatively, have emergency funds, and your financial advisor confirms you're ready, but you're still hesitating, the issue might not be financial, it might be psychological. Common fears include: what if there's a market crash? What if I get bored? What if people judge me for not working? What if I made a mistake in my calculations? These are valid concerns, but they shouldn't paralyze you if you're genuinely financially prepared. Remember, retirement doesn't have to be permanent. Many early retirees do some consulting work, part-time employment, or return to work if circumstances change. The biggest risk might not be retiring too early. It might be working years longer than necessary because you're afraid to make the leap. Making the decision recognizing these signs doesn't mean you should immediately quit your job tomorrow. But if several of these factors apply to you, it might be worth having serious conversations with a financial planner about your options. Remember, the right retirement age is highly individual. Some people thrive working into their 70s, while others are ready to transition to a new phase of life in their 50s or early 60s. The key is making an informed decision based on your specific financial situation, health, family circumstances, and personal goals, not arbitrary age expectations or fear-based thinking. What matters most is designing a retirement that aligns with your values and gives you the best chance at health, happiness, and fulfillment in your later years.